Virgo, the engine turns over at 4:47 a.m. Not the engine of a car, though there may be a car, the engine of a decision, the engine of a life that has been idling in the wrong driveway for years, consuming fuel, polluting the air of its own existence, going nowhere fast. It turns over, it coughs, it catches. And the sound of it catching is the most terrifying music your future has ever played. Because the moment that engine catches, the past is officially left behind, not negotiated with, not packed neatly in the trunk for later, not folded into a keepsake box labeled lessons learned, left behind in the dark, in the dust, in the rearview mirror of a vehicle that is no longer stopping for anything that does not lead to you. Virgo, someone is coming for you. And the word coming is not a metaphor for emotional availability or a slow drift toward realization. This is literal. This is kinetic. This is a human being in motion, having already severed the anchors that kept them moored to a dead harbor, now moving across the topography of their own life with a velocity that is frightening to everyone who has known them as stationary. They are driving through the night. They are booking the flight. They are terminating the lease. They are handing back the keys. They are deleting the archives. They are burning the letters in a sink that will never again hold their tears. They are leaving. And the direction of their leaving is your address. You need to understand the violence of this departure, because understanding it is the only way to understand the magnitude of what is about to arrive. This person did not simply wake up dissatisfied. They did not idly browse their options while keeping one foot in the familiar. They did not post a cryptic status and wait for someone to ask if they were okay. They reached a terminal point, a point where the math of their old life stopped working entirely. The equation that once balanced sacrifice on one side, security on the other, suddenly revealed itself as a fraud. The security was a cage. The sacrifice was a slow bleed, and the only variable that could correct the equation was your name, written across the unknown, written across the blank space where their future was supposed to be. They looked at that space, Virgo, and they realized that every version of their future that did not include you was a future they were no longer willing to fund with their time. So they are leaving the past behind. And the past is not going quietly. The past is a jealous entity with fingernails that dig into door frames. The past is calling, texting, showing up unannounced at the apartment they are trying to vacate. The past is reminding them of obligations, of shared debts, of years invested, of comfort that feels like gravity, of fear that feels like wisdom. The past is saying, you will never find better. You will be alone. You are making a mistake. You are throwing away stability for a fantasy. And for a moment, a long, breathless moment, they almost listened. They almost put the car in park. They almost turned off the engine. But then they thought of you, not the idea of you, not the fantasy, the specific, irreplaceable, cellular memory of your voice, the way you said their name, the way you looked at them in a room full of noise and made them feel like the only person who had ever been truly seen. And the memory was stronger than the fear. The memory was stronger than the gravity. The memory turned the key and kept the engine running. I am seeing their journey with the clarity of a map that has already been folded along the creases of fate. They are on a highway right now, or they will be within the week. The signs are passing in a blur. Towns whose names they will not remember. Gas stations where they buy coffee that tastes like the ashes of their old life. Motels where they sleep for 3 hours and wake up with your name on their lips. They are shedding layers with every mile. The wedding ring, if there was one, is in the glove compartment or at the bottom of a river or in the mail with a return address they no longer claim. The phone number of the old life is being changed. The social media is going dark, not for drama, for survival, because the past has tentacles, and the only way to sever them is to become unreachable to the entity that once controlled the narrative. They are becoming a ghost to their old world so that they can become flesh in yours. And Virgo, while they are hurtling toward you through the dark, you are not standing still. You have been preparing, not consciously, not with a checklist. But your soul has known that space needed to be cleared. You have been throwing things out, old clothes that carried the scent of a different era, old letters you reread one final time and then fed to the fire. Old habits of thought that kept you circling the same limited orbit of what you believed you deserved. You have been cleaning, organizing, rearranging the furniture of your existence so that when this person arrives, there is room. Room in your closet, room in your calendar, room in your bed, room in your heart, which you have been quietly expanding through the disciplined, invisible work of self-love that no one else has witnessed, but that the universe has been recording in meticulous detail. You cleared the space, and the universe filled it with momentum. That is how it works. You do not attract what you want. You attract what you have made room for. And you, Virgo, have been making room. Without even knowing the exact dimensions of what was coming, you just knew that the old arrangements were no longer viable, the old agreements were no longer binding, the old tolerances were no longer tolerable. You stopped answering certain calls, you stopped showing up to certain gatherings. You stopped performing the version of yourself that was designed to keep other people comfortable. You started saying no with a frequency that cleared the static. And in the cleared static, a signal began to come through. A signal that said, prepare, someone is coming. Someone who will not require you to shrink. Someone who will not ask you to manage their chaos. Someone who is bringing their own order, their own fire, their own completed baggage, already checked and discarded at the terminal of their old life. The past they are leaving is not just a relationship, it is a religion of scarcity, a religion of settling, a religion that preached the gospel of good enough and punished the heresy of wanting more. They were a devout follower of that religion. They paid their tithes in the currency of their own dreams. They knelt at the altar of a partnership that demanded their diminishment and called it compromise. They confessed their desires to a priesthood that told them wanting was sinful, that passion was dangerous, that the fire in their blood was a symptom of immaturity rather than the evidence of their aliveness. And they believed it until they met you. Until your presence in their life, however brief, however circumstantial, however undefined by conventional labels, became the forbidden fruit that proved the entire doctrine was a lie. One taste of what was possible with you, and the old creed crumbled. One glimpse of your particular light, and the shadows they had been calling home were exposed as mere absence. That is why the leaving is permanent. It is not a trial separation. It is not a sabbatical. It is an exodus. They are leaving Egypt, and they are not looking back at the pyramids, no matter how impressive the architecture of their old bondage appeared to the outside world. They are walking into a desert that leads to you, and they are carrying no idols, no golden calves forged from the melted down jewelry of their former commitments, no nostalgia, no insurance policy, just the clothes on their back, the truth in their mouth, and the compass in their chest that points unerringly toward your frequency. I am seeing the obstacles they are overcoming, and you need to know them because they prove the seriousness of this arrival. There are financial entanglements being severed with a ruthlessness that is costing them dearly. There are shared assets being liquidated. There are legal papers being signed in rooms that smell like stale coffee and broken promises. There are children, perhaps, or pets, or family members who are being told the truth with a gentleness that does not soften the blow. There are friends who are choosing sides, and the side they are choosing is not his or hers or the side of the past. The friends are looking at this person and seeing a transformation so total that they cannot in good conscience try to stop it. They see the deadness leaving their eyes. They see the color returning to their skin. They see a heartbeat that has been artificially suppressed by years of resignation, now thundering at a pace that suggests life rather than mere survival, and even the most loyal friends of the old life are stepping back. They are saying, "Go. If this is what it looks like to come back to life, then go, even if we do not understand where you are going." The past is trying to follow. Do not think for a moment that the past accepts defeat gracefully. The past is sending emissaries, mutual acquaintances who call with concern. The ex-partner who suddenly remembers everything they loved about your person and is now performing a desperation ballet designed to remind them of what they are losing. The sudden illnesses, the sudden crises, the sudden need for one more conversation, one more closure, one more chance. The past is pulling every lever of guilt, obligation, and shared history. But the lever that matters most, the lever of genuine connection, has already snapped because your person now knows the difference between being needed and being chosen. They were needed by the past. They are chosen by the future. And the future is you. Virgo, I want to talk about the passion that is coming because it is not the passion of rebound. It is not the passion of escape. It is not the desperate, clinging heat of two people trying to use each other to forget what they left behind. This is a different species of fire entirely. This is the passion of recognition. The passion of two frequencies that have been searching for each other across lifetimes, across failures, across the graveyards of almosts and not quites, finally locking into phase. When this person arrives at your door, when they finally stand in front of you with their suitcase and their shaking hands and their eyes that have been rehearsing this moment in dreams for months, the combustion will be immediate. Not because you are rushing, not because you are desperate, but because the delay has already been served. The waiting has already been done. The final stage before the breakthrough was the journey itself. And now that the journey is ending, the breakthrough can begin without preamble. You will know them instantly. That is the part that will make your knees weak. You will open the door, or you will turn around in a coffee shop, or you will look up from your work in a space you have never associated with romance, and you will see a face that your soul recognizes before your mind can catch up. There will be no small talk. Not really. There will be no awkward dance of introduction. There will be the devastating, terrifying, exhilarating familiarity of two people who have known each other in a language older than words. They will look at you, and you will look at them, and the room will tilt. Not because of chemistry. Chemistry is a spark. This is a tectonic shift. The ground beneath both of you will rearrange itself to accommodate the new continent that is forming where your two shores meet. And then they will speak, or you will speak, or neither of you will speak, and the silence itself will be the confession. They will tell you, without the armor of their old life, without the protection of their former identity, that they left everything, not for you, not in the transactional sense, not as a payment for your affection. They left everything because your existence proved to them that everything was no longer enough. They will tell you that the passion they feel is not just desire, it is direction. It is the compass needle that finally stopped spinning. It is the single, undeniable, irrevocable truth that has replaced every other truth they once lived by. They will tell you that they do not want to date you. They do not want to explore possibilities. They want to build. They want to merge. They want to create a life so specific, so tailored to the architecture of your combined souls that the old world will no longer recognize them, and they will ask you no. They will not ask. They will know, they will see in your eyes the same recognition, the same readiness, the same terrifying, wonderful certainty that the waiting is over. The passion that follows will not be contained by a bedroom, though the bedroom will be involved. It will spill into every corridor of your life. You will find yourself staying up until dawn, not because you are afraid to miss a moment, but because the ideas are flowing too fast to sleep. You will find yourself making plans that would have seemed reckless a week ago and now seem inevitable. You will find your body responding to their presence with a sensitivity that makes every other touch you have ever experienced feel like a rehearsal. Their hand on your lower back will feel like a key turning in a lock you did not know was closed. Their mouth on yours will feel like oxygen being administered after years of breathing thin air. The passion is not just sexual, though the sexual will be devastating in its intensity. It is creative, it is spiritual, it is the passion of two people who have both been exiled from their own hearts and have finally found the country where they belong. And the past will try to haunt you. Do not be naive about this. The past does not die just because someone drives away from it. The past sends ghosts. It sends the memory of old arguments at 2 a.m. It sends the fear that this is too good to be true. It sends the anxiety that your person will wake up one morning and realize they made a mistake, that the comfort they left was actually preferable to the passion they found, that the devil they knew was safer than the angel they are now learning. You will have to fight these ghosts together, not by ignoring them, not by pretending they do not exist, but by turning on the light of your present reality and watching the shadows scatter. Every time the past whispers, you will answer with the tangible evidence of your new life. The breakfast table with 2 plates, the closet with their clothes beside yours, the calendar with plans that extend into years, not weeks, the body that sleeps beside you with a trust so complete it looks like surrender. Your person is not looking back, Virgo. That is what I need you to carry into the first weeks of this union. They are not comparing you to what they left. They are not measuring your passion against the lukewarm affection of their old life. They have burned the yardstick. They have melted the scales. There is no comparison because there is no competition. You are not the replacement. You are the revelation. You are not the next chapter. You are the new book. And they are reading you with the hunger of someone who has just discovered that every previous story they were told was a forgery. I am seeing your first year together with a specificity that feels like memory. You are traveling, not to escape, but to discover. You are visiting places that neither of you has been before, because the old maps do not apply to this new territory. You are building a home that does not contain a single object from either of your past lives unless that object has been blessed by the fire of your mutual choosing. You are introducing each other to friends who gasp because they have never seen either of you look like this, alive, unleashed, present. You are working together, or creating together, or simply being together in a silence so full it feels like a symphony. The passion does not fade, it deepens. It becomes the bedrock rather than the fireworks. It becomes the daily practice of choosing each other, not because there are no other options, but because every other option has become literally unthinkable. And Virgo, the most unprecedented element of this entire configuration is this. The love that is coming for you is not here to fix you. It is not here to complete you. It is not here to fill a hole that your past left in your chest. It is here to meet you, to match you, to stand beside you in the full glory of your already achieved wholeness and say, I see you. I am also whole, and together we are more than the sum of our individual completions. This person did not leave their past because they were broken and needed you to save them. They left their past because they were finally whole enough to recognize that you were the only person who could meet them at their new altitude. And you did not clear space in your life because you were empty and needed them to fill you. You cleared space because you were finally full enough of your own self to recognize that only something equally full deserved entry. The engine that turned over at 4:47 a.m. is now parked in your driveway. The headlights are off, the door is opening. The person stepping out is not the same one who started the journey. They are lighter. They are truer. They are carrying nothing but the absolute certainty that every mile of the road they traveled was worth the destination. And you, Virgo, are standing in the doorway with your own light on, your own heart open, your own past finally quiet in the rooms where it used to scream. The table is set for two, the candles are lit. The music is playing at a frequency only your hearts can hear. Stop looking over your shoulder. The past has no seat at this table. Stop checking the road behind you. The only headlights that matter are the ones that just pulled into your life and turned off the engine. Open the door. The journey is complete. The luggage is empty. And the passenger stepping out into your arms is carrying the exact temperature of a love that drove all night through every storm to find you. Let them in. Let them stay. Let this be the beginning that never needed an ending, because it started at the exact moment when both of you stopped needing to begin. Welcome home, Virgo. The love that left everything behind has finally arrived, and it is not going anywhere.